Hey, welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. As we told you guys last night was the front end of a back to back. Tonight was the second side of that. Tonight in New York, Washington fell to the Knicks, 122 to 103. We got Cardo Dudley Jr. here, Raymond Lyons. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Now, Cardo, we'll start with you tonight. This game just had two wild swings in it. The Knicks looked like they blew open the game in the second quarter. And then the Wizards, with a lineup I don't think everybody expected to do it, fall back. And then we saw, I know the Knicks missing Jalen Brunson's big piece. That said, we saw why the Knicks is still one of the top teams in the East as they steady the ship in the fourth quarter to kind of almost make it feel like none of the crazy swings happened in the game. They just took care of business late. But your take on this one as we watch Towns, Bridges, and company lead the Knicks to a season series sweep for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, it was just a balanced attack that for the most part overwhelmed the Wizards except for the third quarter. Campaign set the tone right away. He had 10, he had 10 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds in the first quarter. Yeah, I mean, the reserve point guard, which with the star point guard out, obviously Jalen Brunson's out with injury for a little bit. The reserve point guard come in to do work with you, set that tone. It's kind of a forecast of how the night's gonna go, and that's how I pretty much went. Then everybody else joined the mix, especially Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. We knew Towns a tough matchup for the Wizards for obvious reasons. He went to work on them in DC early in the season. Look, Saul got to get stronger, and he just doesn't know enough to kind of slow down Towns, but. It was just honestly a clinic with ball movement. I'm talking on the Knicks side with ball movement and execution, efficient scoring. They got it from there pretty much everywhere, man. And I give the Wizards credit. They fought a lot better than they did last night. That's why I gave them a pass because of the situation, which is still there. But at least they got a game under their belt to kind of get the first nerves out of the way. But when you have 29 assists on 44 made baskets, that's just tough to deal with. That means everybody was clicking, and if it wasn't for the Wizards bench, this game would have been even worse, man. But yeah, once campaign set that tone, and then they kind of made the Wizards adjust. Then everybody else went to work, especially Towns with 31 and 11, and Mikal Bridges. I mean, he couldn't miss if he wanted to miss, man. 50% from three. 50% from the field overall, man. And then you had the 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like I said, man, it was just too much of a balanced attack. And outside of Jordan Poole, who had a much better night tonight, and Keyshawn George, and Marcus Smart obviously competing, trying to make up for the last game he actually played, and he didn't play last night. But the last game where he didn't play well, outside of them, no one really could match what the Knicks brought, man. So. And again, just like last night with Orlando, the Knicks are fighting for playoff position, so they're not playing any games. Hey, we ain't, what y'all got going on ain't none of our business. We got to do what we got to do and handle business. We got to try to tread water till Jalen Brunson get back, so we're in the best position possible for the playoffs, and that's pretty much what you saw, man. So all in all, man, just a balanced attack that the Wizards just couldn't slow down. That's why they lost.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Knicks just had too much for them tonight. The Wizards on the second game of a back to back, and they traveled. So yeah, outside of that big run that they had, it was pretty much lifeless for most of the game. And yeah, like Cardell pointed out, the Knicks, they're prepping for the postseason, so their intensity is going to be a little higher. And yeah, Carl Anthony Towns just continued what he did in the previous 3 matchups. The Wizards already have a thin front line, and just make it easy, man. Just be big, be aggressive, be a force, and they're either going to foul you or you're going to score, and that's pretty much what happened tonight. And yeah, the Knicks they had things clicking, man. Outside of that big push that the Wizards bench made, the Knicks thoroughly controlled the game. And again, Cameron Payne he started with his foot on the gas, and the team pretty much followed his lead. So yeah, I mean it is what it is. We're at this point in the season, the dog days. They're this and they're at a pretty difficult part of their schedule in terms of playing a lot of games on top of each other. So yeah, man, it was kudos to them for for not completely laying down. I think they cut it to about 3 or 4, but yeah, they just had 2 bad possessions back to back, and that was what the Knicks needed to regain control of this game and stretch their lead back out.
Yeah, those 2 bad possessions turned into an avalanche. Just that quick after all the work they put in to get back into this one. That's it. Player of the game for you guys.
Anthony Towns.
All right. No objections there. X Factor. Hey, man, sometimes they make it easier. All right.
I mean, Mikal Bridges, the 3-point shooting. That's what made it hard for the Wizards to gang up on Towns. Obviously his game is inside and out, more inside. I mean, more outside. Even though these days he's kind of mixing it up a lot more than he ever has, but it's hard to help when the dude's shooting 50% from deep, man. Like, I gotta stay out here, do the best you can. So, it's just, hey, man, and then OG shooting 80% from deep. Like, that's what I'm saying. Campaign shot 37. It was no help tonight. That's what I mean. Balanced attack. It was just like, yeah, he got real. The Wizards made a push, but they was already too hot to really overcome all that. But definitely Mikal Bridges.
Ray, any objections to Mikal Bridges?
Nah, man, he shot the cover off the ball.
Yeah, my only 2 cents, and Cardell, you alluded to it, so appreciate you for that. But we're talking about Mikal and the type of night he had shooting the ball. OG did one better. He wasn't missing at all. You can't leave those 2 dudes. And Towns only took 5 threes, so it means all the actions happened in the side. You can't help off, like you guys said. Rook by himself down there, fight for his life. And look, it's that time of the season. Tis what it is that you guys had. But Cardell, you had a couple questions.
Yeah,
let's get to
it. It's a big criticism for Knicks head coach.
Okay.
As far as the minutes he plays guys, man, what is your thoughts on that? Do you think he plays guys too much, or it's more like, hey, man, you're a professional basketball player. You play the minutes that are needed to get the W. It don't matter if anyone can jump.
Go ahead, Ray.
I mean, yeah, a game like tonight, maybe Cat shouldn't have played until 000 on the clock. But for the most part, yeah, dude, play the minutes you need to play. I just don't understand complaining about guys playing. Like, it's never like every night isn't like tonight. Yeah, okay, this game is out of hand a little early. But for the most part, like, no. I mean, you're a professional, like you said. And yeah, a lot of times you're going to have to play heavy minutes. It is what it is. I don't understand why people are in favor of load managing and then criticizing for people playing a lot. Like, I would think you would lean towards guys playing more often than that, but maybe that's just me. But I mean, the instances where it's kind of overkill are few and far between. But yeah, for the most part, it's a non-issue for me. I think continuously, criticizing Tibbs for that is foolishness. And we know who he is. This is what he's going to do. And I mean, he's been fairly successful. He hasn't won a championship yet, but for the most part, his teams do pretty well. So I don't see a need to change.
Wilson?
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to cheat to make sure I agree with you off top, right? I just want to go get a little background info while you were breaking that down. Even if we want to go with the premise that it's too much, all his starters have played at least 60 games this season. The majority of them have.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. And also, this is kind of weird too. If the players are conditioned to playing consistently, maybe it's minimizing the injury for the Knicks. It's just, I know that's crazy because we know, like, yeah, the load management is a part of it. But all right, so if we don't have the what's it called, what we did have in the past, which was hard practices all throughout the season, we know that's a thing in the past, right? Cool. But if you can, to a degree, still get a good chunk of that by their players playing minutes, wouldn't that still be less of a load because the grueling practices are no longer a part of it in season?
Right.
Like maybe playing that much has kept them from having like debilitating injury. For as much as they play 60 games, obviously can't click on I couldn't click on Brunson, he's not playing, but everybody else played at least 60 games. So 66, 63, 62. This is this, like for tonight, I know at least for the Wizards, this is game 70. So 4 of your 5 starters have played 60. I don't know where Brunson's at, but yeah, I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I just think people pick on things and just run with it. Obviously, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson had their podcast, and they said they don't have a problem with it. So what's the problem? The franchise guy and the ultimate utility do everything guy on the team that's irreplaceable. They say they want to be on the floor. I think if you're a basketball player, you want to be on the floor. Like why? It's very rare. Only time you will want to sit is if I can't help the team. I'm just jacked up. I can't help in that way, and because it becomes selfish if you still want to be on the floor and you jacked up and you know you can't play at a level where you're not out there being a liability. Nah, man. It's just like you said, man. This is what 69. Well, today was the 70th game. Most of the guys have been durable, like you said. It's a bunch of 60s for the starters and stuff like that. Like Mikal, he ain't missed a game yet. Josh Hart right there, 66. OG at 63. You know, OG had big injuries. I mean, on Toronto a lot. He was in and out. Jalen Brunson just got hurt. He was at 61. Carlton Towns 62. McBride like 59. Precious 46. Campaign 63. Like a lot of their guys have been healthy, man. Like, and honestly, the player who averages most minutes is Josh Hart. He only averages 37.7. Like, no disrespect. When we was growing up, that was the norm for all the starters. That was between 35 and 40 minutes. I mean, that's what it is, man. So I don't know, man. It's just a big thing going around the NBA that he runs players into the ground. And really, I think that's off the heels because of the Derrick Rose stuff in those Bulls teams, because they always would kind of lose whatever. But I'm like, that was just a freak accident, man. You can't help it. But Rose was dumb explosive, man. Like, it is what it is. It was unfortunate. Obviously, no one wished it would happen because he was special. I think, he was coming from Magic Spot as the greatest point guard of all time. He was doing that, if he put that together for 10 plus years, that level, yeah, he'd have made a run for sure. And Chicago might have been running for battling for a championship because they was right there. They was pushing the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were right there. So, but I think he get a hard knock for that, man. But the way these dudes, and also let's throw this in there. No one made this point. They don't practice they don't even practice to put more wear and tear. So the NBA back in the day when we grew up, they was practicing, playing more tougher back-to-backs and stuff, and still was playing the same amount of minutes. These guys don't even do that. So what are we fussing for? And they're third in the East right now. So I don't see what the negatives are. if they lose in the playoffs, it's because they lost in the playoffs. It ain't because they tired or whatever. Everybody in the playoffs beat up, unless you didn't play. Like Mitchell Robinson will probably be the only one that's not beat up. So, yeah, I think it's just much to do about nothing, man. And honestly, it could be some gamemanship going on there that throw them off their game. But, nah, man, 33, 37 minutes for your starters, that's what your starters should be playing.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it was in the 40s, if you had 3 or 4 people in the 40s, let's have that discussion. That's not what this is.
That's tough.
It's a 48-minute game, and no one's playing 38 minutes. What are y'all talking like?
And you don't practice, so you're going to get an off day and recovery days.
You don't practice, and the schedule's made to make it – the schedule's been edited over the years to make it a little bit better for you.
Right. And my second question, the last one, is when Brunson obviously gets back, and with Mitchell Robinson back now, they pretty much hold when Brunson gets back. Do you think they can make a run? Will make a run in the playoffs?
Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, if they hold, and yeah, they're one of the top teams in the East. I don't think that's up for debate. Yeah, if they can ramp up Mitchell Robinson through these last 12 or so games and get him ready, and of course with Brunson coming back, that they hell to deal with. And adding Mitchell Robinson is going to be huge because, yeah, Cardell, like you always point out, is getting to a point where you need a couple of bigs to compete at that level. If you look at how Cleveland is built and how Boston is built, you're going to need them. Yeah, and that would be a huge addition to what Karl Anthony Towns already brings. And Jalen Brunson, we've seen what he's done over the last couple of years. Just putting that dynamic back into their lineup it changes everything. So yeah, I definitely think with those two coming back and the Knicks being able to operate at full strength, it makes it super interesting.
Wilson.
Yeah, I have no doubt about Brunson. For me, it's just how with Mitchell, just if they do have a back, if he's ramped up, one, stay healthy, and then two, just how much he's able to give them. But to Ray's point, you have to have another big, and then think about what he brings to the table. He's the ideal type of big people love to have, would like to have in this league in terms for what he does defensively. It's a mobile big. He's bouncy as hell, physical. With all the things in his career thus far, he averages 1.9 blocks per game for his career. That is legit deterrent at the rim. And it's not one of the things where, and I'm not saying this to knock Cleveland's front court, but he's a little bit more filled out physically. There's been a transformation from Mitchell Robinson that hit the league as a rookie to Mitchell Robinson now. Shoulders filled out, it's a bigger body, and you get some positional versatility too, because we seen, when Cat was in Minnesota, he was able to slide down a spot and play with another big. Obviously, they play with that two big lineup a lot. Don't do it in New York, but that's an option to have for dealing with some of these teams. Just having that as an option is a great tool in your belt in case you do need it. But if you have somebody if you can have a strong bouncy big or to add to your lineup, and you're already a really good defensive team, I do not see the negative. For me, it's just how much if Mitchell can stay healthy and how much he can give them. But I'm not worried about the Brunson part. I think Mitchell could possibly be the thing that gets him through a couple teams if he can stay healthy enough. But that's a lot to deal with. You guys been talking about all year. You got two bigs in Milwaukee. You got two bigs in Cleveland. And I just like what Mitchell brings to the table from the athleticism and the physicality. You need it.
You're right, because last year in the playoffs, they lost in 7 games to the Pacers. that he played like 12 minutes because the Embiid situation late in the season jacked him up, and no one they really ain't had nobody match up with Miles Turner. Even though now you got Cat, you got two. I mean, you had Isaiah Hartenstein, but he's more of a dirty work big. He's not somebody so active. He's active, but he's on the ground. Like Mitchell Robinson's a lob threat. He's active on the ground, pick and roll, offensive rebounder, high flyer. Like you got to pay attention to him, keep a body on him because he can win the game just by hustle points. You know what I mean? So with him back, that's why I asked, can you see them making a run? Because with him back now with Towns, that makes things interesting. They run into the Cavs and the Celtics, and now, like Karl Towns don't have to guard Porzingis. Karl Towns don't have to guard Evan Mobley. He can stay with Jared Allen, who's not as offensively skilled as Evan Mobley, and he can stay fresh. Not that he don't have to guard Jared Allen, but Jared Allen's not the focal point. Now Mitchell Robinson can get the better offensive big, or if you meet the Bucks, you got to Giannis put Mitchell Robinson down there, and that keeps him fresh, man. Like that's a different asset than last year where you was relying on Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, but he unfortunately went out, so he's really just thought they was out there with Hartenstein the 5. Sometimes Josh Hart was at the 4. You feel what I'm saying? So with OG and all them just ended up changing. So that's why I was like, if they healthy and they start, it can get interesting, man. It can get interesting, man. So, yeah, obviously we got to wait till the seeding. Right now, the Knicks are 3rd in the East. So right now they would be playing the Pistons, which would be a dogfight in itself. So you definitely will want a couple bigs in that series, man. So that's going to be a physical series. But like I said, man, yeah, healthy. They got a shot, man. They got a shot to make a run, man, because they match up well with all the teams. They can play any style.
Yeah, I just think because he's been injured, sometimes when players are injured, people kind of forget what they bring to the table. Mitchell's one of those guys because that's everything. It's everything you would need as the type of big you want to compliment somebody like Towns. That's ideal.
Right. And then like with Towns, his if it's one flaw in his game, he's not always a consistent defender. But you don't need to worry about that now because just send him to Mitchell. And then he can send it back. So it's gonna be interesting.
For sure. We appreciate you guys checking in with us tonight. We'll see you guys Monday night after the Wizards take on the Raptors here in DC.